We're talking about the latest Detroit Lions news and rumors. We're going to go over these articles and give you my thoughts on what's going on with our beloved Detroit Lions. Let's go ahead and get this thing started right now. Make sure you go ahead and check out LionsNationNight.com for the latest and greatest gear. You can get shirts, cups, everything that you want. LionsNationNight.com. Good deals as well if you want to get your Lions fix. And today, we're just going to go over the latest Lions news and rumors for you folks today. And let's go ahead and start this bad boy out with an article here talking about 5 prospects that the Detroit Lions should easily avoid in 2024 NFL Draft. I already seen the article, so I know the players here. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on these players. Should the Detroit Lions look to avoid these guys? One being Texas wide receiver Xavier Worthy. Look, I could see the Lions trying to avoid here, not for the same reasons they probably suggested it, though. Maybe they would like to go ahead and get defense a little bit earlier, as Worthy is a earlier draft pick, like corner or defensive tackle, offensive line, something else. So then they can not really focus on the wide receiver position. So not necessarily agree with the reasons to avoid Worthy, but different reasons, I would say. If they're looking for other positions, defense is what I kind of would like to get there so far here. The cornerback, Mike Centristil. All right, a lot of people was talking about him. Lions should draft him. He's more of a nickel corner, and I think that's a second-round talent for the Detroit Lions. Thing is, we got Amik Robertson, who could play that position. He can all play outside as well. But if the Lions were looking to upgrade the corner position, you're probably looking for somebody that could play a little bit more outside of that position. That's just kind of what my thought process is. Now, I wouldn't be opposed if the Lions drafted him, but for me to say for the Lions to avoid him, that's kind of be why I would do it that way. Defensive tackle Tavondre Sweat to avoid them. I actually kind of like Sweat. It just depends on what round, maybe third round, right? I think that would be a nice option for the Detroit Lions. I wouldn't want to go anywhere near or before that. Plus, obviously, it says here the DUI arrest. It just seems like the Detroit Lions are probably going to stay away from him simply because of that. They're all about character and all that type of stuff. So I think they will avoid just because of that itself. Chop Robertson. Now, I agree here. I think Chop Robertson's a little bit overrated. I always believe in production on the field is more than anything else, instead of just, the physical stature and the flexibility and all that type of stuff. He didn't really produce a whole lot in college. Yes, he's got the size, the stature, the athleticism, but we need the production. And I know a lot of people are mocking Chop Robinson to the Detroit Lions. If the Lions were to avoid him, that would be the reason why, and I think it's a legit reason, because I want to see production on the field. Look, if the Lions draft him, I will support him. But if they avoid him, I'm perfectly fine with it, because I understand. I want to see production on the field. Last one here is Nate Wiggins. Now, I disagree with this actually completely. I think Nate Wiggins would be a great draft pick for the Detroit Lions. I don't think that he's going to be there at 29. You'd have to trade up. But I like his size, man. 6'2". I like the size that he brings. He is fast. Man, and I think you could develop this guy to be a stud. So I completely disagree here, but that's okay. Not everyone's going to agree on everything. What about you? What do you guys think? What is a player you want the Detroit Lions to avoid drafting? Name one player. It could be anybody. Chop Robertson. It could be even names that's not on a list. Or just go ahead and name a player. Now, I've seen this article. I didn't read it, but it just says why the new Detroit Lions jerseys are a huge miss. Why go backwards when the team can go forward? Now, he's talking about, obviously, the old Lions logo, right? Or the old Lions uniform, the 90s uniform. Going back, I honestly don't mind that at all. And same with the black. If you're just going on the jersey, I kind of get it, right? Like, maybe it's just not too perfect. When I was looking at the jersey, I'm just like, yeah. But when you match it up with the helmets and the pants, it looks fire, man. All of them look really good. I like the lighter blue. I like the white lettering for the blue jersey instead of the gray lettering. And I just love the blue helmet with the black logo and the black jersey with the blue lettering. I think that's dope. I think it's fire. I think this guy missed out a little bit. But I know some of you guys don't like all the uniforms. Why? Because we all have different tastes. and that's completely fine. I don't think it's a big miss. I really don't. I mean, they could have made a different design or something else, and that would be kind of cool, but what they did with the black uniform, I thought was a pretty big transformation because you're switching out the helmets. Blue helmet with the black logo and black lines. I think that's fire. I think it makes that black uniform look way better than the last time we had the black uniforms, 2007, 2008 time? So I think it's way better now than what it used to be because of the matchmaking with the rest of the uniform. So I like it. I think it's fire. I think they did a good job. Could they done more? Absolutely. They've could have done more. Not everyone's going to agree either, and so I'm not going to hate on him for saying this because some people just don't like certain things, and that's just the way it is. But let me know in the comment section right now, do you like the new alternate uniforms? And the new uniforms and the alternate uniforms. The away, home, and the alternate black. Let me know in the comments below. Brad Holmes prepared to apologize fan for the trade out of the first round. Now, he talked about this, that if a situation of trading out of the first round happens, it's going to do what's best for the franchise, not what is making the fans go hype, because obviously there's going to be a lot of people at the NFL draft in Detroit. You trade out, a lot of fans are going to be upset because they wanted to see the Lions make a pick in their hometown. But you need to understand Holmes is correct here, right? If he's not going to trade up, if he's not going to stay at 29, if the best deal is to trade back, I don't care about one night. I care about the longevity of the Lions football team for 2024 and beyond. It's just one night. You got to do the best deal. We traded out of 6 to 12. What do we get? We got Jahmyr Gibbs and we got Sam Laporta. It was a great decision, right, to get an extra second-round pick to get Sam Laporta. So it's hard for me to think that they actually trade out. I think they're trading up. I honestly, truly do believe that. And that goes into the next part here where Daniel Jeremiah is talking about the Detroit Lions to be aggressive. He's heard from agents. The Lions are looking to trade up, potentially to get a cornerback or somebody else. I think that's realistic. I think it's the most probable situation. If I'm going probability, trading up is going to be 1, staying at 29 is 2, and trading out is number 3. I do think they trade up. I do. I think there's going to be a player that they covet. You know it. We've seen behind the scenes of the draft, Brad Holmes, he don't fear trading up. He don't. If he likes a guy, he's going to go up there and get it. And that's what he does. It's just what he does. It's how he operates the draft. I think that's the way to go. If you feel there is a player that is going to change your team and you just got to trade up, say 10 spots or something, why are we even fighting about it? You get the player you want, who fits the system, who fits the culture, who fits the team. Maybe it's best at that position, like corner. So then you're getting a player that you need. Lack of production, say in the secondary, but he's the best player. He fits. It's just if it's right, it's right. And I think the Detroit Lions are going to move up in this draft. And guess what? We find out in 6 days. That's what's so great. It's almost here. 6 days from the draft. And I don't know about you. I'm ready for the real thing and not speculation, not mock drafts, not rumors. I'm ready for the real thing. I know you guys see these videos, you see these rumors, and you're like, oh, not again. Why is Mike or these other people doing this on YouTube? Well, it's because we have to talk about it because it's a legit thing that potentially could happen. So a lot of people on YouTube, content creators, they're not doing it because, well, maybe some are, but a lot of these guys, I'd say 90% of them are not doing it for clicks. They're doing it because there's legit rumors, and you got to talk about it. So I think the Lions do make a move. Now, if you heard this, the Lions players that were suspended are back off suspension, but not back in the Lions uniform. Quintez Cephas is one of those guys, and guess what? We need a wide receiver, and I did like Cephas, but I think it's a little too late for him to come back, right? I think it is. I like Cephas. It's time to go forward right now. It's time to get better at the wide receiver position. They can do that in this year's draft. They can. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a first or a second round pick. Like third, be a fifth round pick if they somehow get a fourth. With trading, you can get some good wide receivers in this year's draft. And appreciate Cephas, what he did for the Lions. I don't even know if he's going to be in the NFL anymore because it's been a whole year, and it's not like he was a high draft pick when the Lions got him. So we'll see. But let's get into this next article. The 5 takeaways from the Brad Holmes press conference. And yes, the normal cornerback crop, he's going to say that this is a normal cornerback crop is the rest of them, and it pretty much is, right? You get your really good players, and then you get solid players. It does seem like that. It's not like there's some guy that just comes out like a Witherspoon. You're like, oh my God, this guy is great, right? So I agree, and that is 100% what Brad was talking about. Trading up depends on fit. We just literally talked about that, and it's 100%. If it's fit, they'll trade up. If it's a fit, the right player, the Dan Campbell type of guy, and it works for this team, it's going to make this team better, he absolutely will trade up. Correct. Need versus talent. Again, this is what Brad Holmes has been preaching for many, many years now. He drafts for talent, not for need. Okay? He just doesn't do that. He's going to get the best player available, even if it's a position that we're maxed out on. That's just what he's going to do. Now, we just all hope that need matches talent with the Lions selection. So then you're getting the best of both worlds. And I do agree with this philosophy. It's BPA, best player available. 100% agree with that philosophy. Finding Dan Campbell's guys. Dan Campbell guys, Brad Holmes guys, Lions guys. Let's just do Lions guys now. It is players whom live and breathe football. They're pretty much squared away. You don't have to worry about a whole lot with their work ethic and all of that, off the field issues. Guys who you can trust when the coaching staff's not watching. Those are the type of Dan Campbell guys that you can just worry about. So, I agree. I think you got to get those guys, all right? You got to get the Dan Campbell type of guys, the Brad Holmes, the Detroit Lions type of players. But, folks, make sure you hit that notification bell. Subscribe to the channel for the latest Lions news and rumors. With that said, adios.